What's up guys, welcome to Simple Chinese. My name is Mike Lin, and in today's lesson I'm going to teach you the formation of Chinese characters. So in the past few lessons we've been talking about pinyin a lot. What pinyin is basically the pronunciation of each character. So if you look at one Chinese character, for example, this one, the word ni, okay? So that's the Chinese character, which if you see Chinese writings, usually that's what we have on the books, whatever, computers for typing, whatever, that's what we show, right? That's the Chinese character. And then Chinese pinyin, which is basically the pronunciation of this word, will be this, and will be the yi, okay? So that pinyin is just the pronunciation of the word. We spent a lot of time in the past, few lessons talking about that. So if you haven't watched those videos, make sure to go back and double check all of those. Make sure you understand what pinyin is and how they're formed, how they say that, and spend more time, practice on your own and make sure you master pinyin, because that's one of the most important thing in Chinese language. Okay, so but that's all pinyin, and I guess just a quick review of what pinyin, how the pinyin is formed is basically with an initial and with a final, right? And that's how the pinyin is formed. And usually the only combos you can have with the pinyin is initial, I use I for initial, plus the final, right? Or the finals by itself. And in the finals, there's two types. One is a single final, and then one is a compound final, right? Compound final just means there's multiple. For example, like ow, that's a compound final. There's more than one. There's two characters basically, letters. Right? Single just means there's just one. Okay, so that's pretty simple. So the only combination we can have is either single final by themselves or compound final by themselves, and then initials plus either one of those, and then that's it. And there's also tonality you have to master, which basically set a tone of each pinyin. So that's all about pinyin. That's what pinyin is in general. So if you don't know all those things already, make sure to go back and check all of those. And then in today's lesson, I think it's one of the very interesting lessons I want to talk about. It's the formation, okay? The formation of Chinese characters, okay? So I mean, it's in everything. For example, in English, we write all the English language from using the alphabet, right? From A, B, C all the way to Z, and that's it. With Chinese, as you can tell here, there's like a lot of different characters in Chinese characters. They might be very almost overwhelming and intimidating in the first place, because they all look very different. But honestly, it's not that hard. It's like I said, it's just like a system. Okay, how English is formed is basically you spell those words out, and then there's only 26 choices. In Chinese character, obviously there's a little more, but still, it's still whatever the parts put together to make a Chinese word. So I feel like in this lesson I really gonna want to teach you, or give you an example of like how those words are formed. So in the future, when you see a new word, you might have a better understanding. It might be easier for you to remember, how those things are, rather than just try to remember, one character. Like remember that as like drawing, which is can be difficult. Like that requires a lot of memorization and stuff. But if you can remember that like more like a system, it will be a lot easier. One good example I can give you is I don't know, have you played the Rubik's Cube before, right? If you think about the Rubik's Cube, like there's six surfaces, right? There's 6 surfaces for the Rubik's Cube. I mean, I've been playing a little bit, but I'm not really good. Like I don't know much. But one time I hear a very good explanation about one person who's just super good at Rubik's Cube. He can even do it like without even looking, just like on the back. So the idea he has over Rubik's Cube is very similar to Chinese, right? So generally people, if you think about Rubik's Cube, like the purpose is, if you mix them up, there's like 6 surfaces, right? And there's 9 different, like parts in Rubik's Cube, right? Like this. It's a terrible drawing, I'm sorry. So do it again here. So there's a square, there's like 9 different parts, right? Right, 9 different parts. So if you do 6 times 9, right, it will be like 54. See, you can think as like a Rubik's cube. You can put them just mess them up and put them together, and you have to match like 9 of those, which is 54 different small surfaces to match them to whatever 9 of them in different colors. So you can break that down to as many as 54, which is a lot. Or you can break them down as smaller pieces. Okay, I don't know how many pieces, but if you look at one Rubik's cube, like that. If you draw like a square, right? That's the cube. This one brick right here, in the very edge one here, contains 3 surfaces, right? There's like 1, 2, 3, and so does here, here. And then if you do that, if you look at, I don't really have the actual cube, but if you do have one, you can tell. Rather than think about it as 54 smaller pieces, the different surfaces. Think about it as like the pieces they have, which on top will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So on top there's only 8, and then the bottom would be 16, and then maybe in the middle there's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many, like 6, 8, maybe like 20 some. So it's only half as much, or I don't know how much, but it will be a lot less than the 54. So that's an idea, okay? Let me explain one more time here. Basically, if you look at the cube, there's 6 different colors, right? There's like 6 different surfaces, 6 different colors. And there's like a 9 on each surface. Rather than thinking about 6 times 9, 54 different pieces, you can break them down to like 1 in here, 1 in here, 1 in here, 1 in here, right? Over there. And the lowest, like one brick right here, contains 3 different surfaces, as we can see. So that can become one individual, rather than just think about surface as individual. So that's the same kind of idea in Chinese, okay? So like a lot of those things, called the radicals or just whatever parts in Chinese, a lot of them share very similar, parts in the radicals. So all we have to do is just kind of remember certain amount, and that's all we have to remember. And in the future, if there's new words, it's pretty much just all radicals put them together and make a new word, and that's it. Okay, so that's one thing I really want to explain that to you. So let me just gonna go through. There's basically only 6 different kinds of forms. The formation, like how Chinese is formed, there's through 6 different ways. Okay, I'm gonna go through each one of them so you have better understanding. Okay, first one here, it's called pictographic. Okay, so Chinese, Chinese character will be 象形, pinyin will be 象形. So it's also gonna review for you here. So what is a pictographic? I think it's one of the first impression for everybody who haven't learned Chinese is they think Chinese is a pictographic, which some part of Chinese characters are. What that means is basically we draw an object, and as time goes by, whatever the drawing becomes a word. And that's what pictographic is. So to give an example, the word sun and the moon. Okay, Chinese. That's the word Chinese sun, and the word moon will be this. Or maybe another example, the word 人, which is person. Okay, it will be this. Sorry, it will be this. Okay, so all these 3 words are pictographic. So how they evolve. So for example, like long time, thousands of years ago, when there's no really words, people try to create words. They look at sun and say, oh, we want to, pick this, we want to represent sun. How do we do that? We just draw pictures, right? Like there's a sun, and then it's like rising above the horizontal line, and then it's kind of like that. And as time goes by, maybe slowly become more like that, right? And then eventually becomes the word sun, right? And it's the same thing with moon, like that makes sense, kind of like moon. Like a banana kind of thing, and also rising above the horizontal line, and then boom, become the word moon. And then the person, you kind of look like a person, doesn't it? It's like, even today when we draw a person, it's like this, right? So it's a part of the person, right? It's like maybe back then it's like we're gonna represent the person, kind of something like that. Like that's the dude, and then slowly become the word 人. Okay. So that makes sense, right? That's pretty simple. And then the next one, called 指示, okay? 指示, okay? Self-explanatory. So that one is, like I said, self-explanatory, very easy, very simple. I think one of the best examples we can give will be the character in Chinese word 上 and the 下 means up and down. Okay, so that's the word 上, that's the word 下. I don't know, can you tell? But like even I look at it in the very first time, I was like, wow, okay, this makes so much more sense. It's like you get a line here, right? To represent something is above the line, you know, maybe you can say you got an object here and it's above it, and you go above it like that, and then boom, the word 上. Right, but how you write is, you know, that's how the word how you write it will be this, but you know, that's in the future. And the 下 will be the same, you know, like you got a line here and something is dripping down here, you know, and it's below, it's underneath it. So boom, the word 下 that means down or underneath or below, you know, things like that. All right, so that's what 只是 and self-explanatory mean. And the third one here will be associative compound. So what does this mean? That means, what if we have a word, or you know, expression, or whatever we try to express, that it's not really the object, or it's not, you know, really you can like see just by drawing that. Then how can we, you know, express that? That's when we use associative compound. It's kind of like you put two pictures together and they have same kind of feature or same kind of similarity. So to give an example here, the word 名. Okay. I don't know if you recognize this word, but this word is an associative compound. So you know it's a compound because in the previous example, you know, I already write this word here, 日, and then this word here, 月, by themselves, right? 日 means sun, and the 月 means moon. So what do you think this word mean here? This word means bright, and in Chinese it's 明. Okay, 明. Let me write a pin down here actually. 明, right? Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Right? Like there's a moon, there's sun, they're both bright, so kind of showing the similarity here. Associative compound. That's why the word 明, bright, is formed. So that's an idea here. Okay, that's how. Like if you're the creator of like a language, like if you want to create Chinese, you know, there's only 6 methods you can create Chinese, and those are the first 3. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's kind of really put you in perspective. Like why do we write the word this way, right? Like, why do we write, you know, the sun this way and the moon that way? Like that makes perfect sense, isn't it? Like sun is kind of like a circle and a draw, boom, it's the sun, right? The fourth way here is called 形声. 形声. Okay, make sure you practice your pinyin if you haven't, because that's important. Okay, it's pictophonetic. Like I cannot even say this word here. Just see, like how long is the pictophonetic? 4 parts. That's why I think, you know, English as far as pronunciation wise, Chinese is pretty easy. Okay, 形声. Okay. So, what is 形声 mean? 形声is kind of like, you know, first, second, and third. But basically what it means, like we have original word right there, and we put a part that represents the meaning. So 形声 basically has 2 parts. Okay, whatever, like this word here, there's 2 parts. Okay, one part represents the kind of the meaning, or you know, whatever they try to represent. And then another part, like this part represents the meaning, maybe, and then that part represents the sound. Okay, to give that an example, this word here. Okay, this word here. Okay, so that will be a pictophonetic character. Okay, so 2 parts, right? You can tell one is this part here, the one is this part here, right? So this part here is called 猪, and then that is how this word is pronounced, 猪. So one part basically contributes to how you say this word, you know, the sound, 猪. Okay, so this word by itself is also 猪, right? And then this part here represents the meaning, like other meanings of what this word is. Okay, so in this case, what's that mean? That means this word here by itself means like the bone showing out, like your head bone, the physical and the bone showing out, skeleton, right? Like something bad showing up. And then 猪 it's the sound. And by itself, 猪 can also mean blood, like red, color red, right? So if we got red blood color, when it sound itself 猪, and then you plus this bone showing out, like something disgusting, skeleton. What does this? What do those together represent? This one means death. So we got the bone, got the blood together. It's death. So this word here means death. Somebody died, or killed, something like that. Represents something bad. So that's what this word. That's what its 形声字 means. Basically means there's two parts. One kind of represents how you say that word. The one represents the meaning, and then put them together. That's what 形声字 means. So that is just a combination of whatever the previous three kinds. Put them together. That's what make a new word here. Okay. And then the fifth one here. Okay, called 转注. What's funny is in the textbook, like they even print out the pinyin wrong for 转注. Maybe it is that way. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure like that's how you write it. 转注. Okay, 转注. Okay. And then that's mutually explanatory. So what does that mean? That means it always comes in pairs, right? Whenever you say mutually exclusive, mutually blah blah blah, mutually agreement. There's only two. There's always two involved, two parties. So same thing here. That means usually when those words are 转注, that means there's always a pair. Those two are always a pair. Basically means those two words share the same meaning, share a very similar feature, meaning, even like a writing wise is very, very similar. So one very good example I can give is these two words. Okay. And this word here. Okay, these two words. You can tell there's sure some some similar writings here. We got here, this part, these two parts are similar. Okay. So these two words will be 转注, which is mutually explanatory. They share the same meaning and a pretty similar sound, I would say. This word is pronounced 颠. This word is 顶. 颠顶. 颠 means on top of something, so that's 顶. So they both are pretty much the same meaning, same kind of sound, sharing the same kind of parts as well. So to give an example, let's say usually we say like 巅峰 will be like a person reaches his peak. Let's say like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? He reached his peak of whatever his physical peak at 70s through 90s, right? In that case, you write 巅峰, right? Like a 人生巅峰, like peak, you peaked in your life, 巅峰. Or you can say 顶峰, so the same letter here. So 巅峰 means you peak something on top of something. 顶峰 also means the same, on top of something. 顶峰 will be like on top of a mountain, 山顶顶山的顶峰, right? Or 山的巅峰, and I think that also makes sense as well. So that's what mutually explanatory means. Okay, so that is the number 5. And then the last one here, the last formation called phonetic loan. Okay, loan, what does loan mean? Loan means borrowing something, obviously, right? So 假借 okay, 假借. So phonetic loan. Okay, so what does that mean? So to explain that, think about that. Like if you are a creator of a language, like if you like you expert on languages and you want to create your own language, right? You literally have to like name every single thing correctly, right? But what if like there are just so many things, like there are so many different expressions, you can mean a lot of things, like what if like there's new stuff coming out all the time, and or like there's a new we try to express that, and we don't really have an expression to express that. Like how do we do that? If that's the case, we'll keep on creating new different kind of characters with different kind of words. So that can be exhausting. So how about we just pick what we already have, and then just put whatever we have, the old stuff together. To like how about what if like we already have a word, and then we just kind of get exhausted and try to make a new thing. So let me just kind of give an example, like it will be much easier to to understand. So this word here, that was mango in Chinese. Mango. That means mango. Mango. Right here. So mango, right? M-A-N. Mang, right? Mango, right? This word here, mang, by itself is a phonetic loan. Okay. So what does that mean? That means I don't think like mango. I think a mango. I don't know is the exact story, but I think a mango isn't really a fruit from China, right? So we already create a lot of words already, but here comes the new a new product, a new thing, the mango, the mango from different country. Like damn, like we don't have a word for mango. So what do? We pretty much borrow the old Chinese word and then we put something new on top of or whatever inside, outside, next to the old word, and then make a new expression. Because then there we go, their work. Rather than we have to maybe create a new design with new like character, whatever. That would be, that would be crazy, right? So here goes. So basically, this part here is a word by itself. That means one. It's the second sound here. One. One means die, like 死亡. That means you die, die, like death. One. So one here by itself, means death, right? So when when we introduce mango, like we don't really have a word for mango in the main here. So what do? We borrow this word here, right? And then we just simply put this sign here. Simply put this grass sign on top of mango, and then boom, on top of this one character, and then boom. Here's a new word, mango, right? But as you can tell, this word here has nothing to do with the mango. Like it's not like this word here. It means death. Death has nothing to do with the word mango. So basically, just gonna borrow whatever the word we have in the past and then make a complete new meaning. And it has nothing to do in the past. If it does, it won't be phonetic law. It might be like pictophonetic or maybe associative compound, right? So that's what last one, 假借, phonetic law means. Okay. So another example. Let me use the similar one here. So this word here, character here. Let me just get rid of all those. The word one, right? The word one. Yeah, this word here. That means death, right? And let's say another word. I wanna the word busy in Chinese will be this. That means man, right? But this word here is death, right? But this word is busy. Busy and the death, they don't really connect. But we're trying to make a new word. That's why we added this in another radical here, and then add those two together, and then make the word. Then make a new word here, busy. But this word here, busy, has nothing to do with the original word here, one. So that's why it's a phonetic loan. You borrow something from old and make something completely new. So that's what that's mean. Okay, and that's all. That's all what 假借 means. That's all 假借 means, and that's all what this video is about. Like just the formation of Chinese characters. Like I've never. I obviously I know all these things, but like we were never really kind of testing or so never have to worry about understanding. Oh, like you see this character is the self-explanatory, or this character is an associative compound. You never have to do that. Like the only reason I explain this is to kind of give you an example, like how Chinese characters are formed. Like so in the future, it might be easier for you to practice or memorize and better use all these words in the future. So that's what those means. And all these things are simply from one book I've been using, and it's this book. It's called Integrated Chinese. I think in this book, a lot of universities and the classes and then whatever teachers, professors are using this book to teach students, and it's a very good standardized book for a lot of beginners. So if you want to pick up this book, I have a link down below, and if any questions, comments, whatever you have, you can find it down below, or just simply email me, okay? So that's all for this lesson, and if you have any questions, let me know, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.